You cannot have a free say over your contribution to the rest of the society and your participation in the economy. And that goes for all women.
Okay,
and our mission statement also talked about the rights of migrant women.
All right, Sophie, you can keep talking, or at some stage I have to be able to come back at you about something you just said. You said you condemn Madonna saying, or you didn't name her, but you condemn anyone who wants to commit an act of terrorism, but you defend her freedom of speech. It's not freedom of speech to say you want to blow up the White House. That is a direct threat against the life of the president. Whether you mean it or not, you try doing that at an airport anywhere in the world, you will be arrested, you will be jailed. And she was representing this march because she was put up on an official platform. Okay, so again, I say to you, you can't defend freedom of speech when it's about blowing up the White House.
Love him or hate him, Piers Morgan doesn't let feminists get away with their nonsense. In this video, you're going to see Piers show them who's boss, including a prude feminist who thinks guys should never touch women, a grossly obese woman who wants to glamorize obesity, a bitter feminist who wants to cancel beauty competitions.
For teenage boys now, they are so terrified of the consequences of putting a foot out of line. It's hard enough being a young teenager, working out how things are, working out how to do dating and all of that, without the terror that if you touch in the wrong place at the wrong time, you may find that your whole life is destroyed.
See, I
and there
like
is
that
far
terror.
too much. Well,
I like that.
As a
I
mother
think
of
that
a
men
teenage
should be
boy, I
frightened.
don't like that terror.
I do.
Most thing I've ever heard.
That is
I think that
awful.
men should be frightened
I think
to
you'd
touch
feel
women in a way
differently
that
if you
they're
were,
not comfortable with.
But we're talking about
Yeah, but we're not talking about.
children.
We're not talking about.
We're talking
yeah, but
about
it's an
young
interesting
children.
thing that you see. I would say that attitude actually is part of the problem too. That's to me toxic femininity. I do think it's really hard for a 16, 17-year-old boy now in this environment to know even how to start
they are all
having
terrified.
some kind of physical relationship with a woman.
Those good boys are all terrified. I know that from talking to my son. He's just like, I'm just not going there. Is that healthy?
Yes, I think it is actually. I think it's better to not have a physical relationship than to have one that could ruin a woman's life.
But then how do they ever start?
Well, don't. If you're not 100% sure,
we
don't.
going for?
What are you going to have, a bunch of neutered boys who never
But it's
had...
so obvious.
I feel sorry for any guy who dates that woman. I hope they don't waste their hard-earned money buying her expensive dinners. I wouldn't even buy her a Happy Meal at McDonald's.
I'm very glad that monetizing, what did you say?
Monetizing the objectification of women.
Monetizing the objectification of women is now the embodiment of feminist empowerment.
I think
what a wonderful place we've reached for women.
It's not my form of feminism, but I absolutely defend her right to be able to express herself as a lingerie model and to talk about feminism in the way that she wants to. Because this is what I don't understand. Why do you have an issue with Emily Ratajkowski? Of all the things you could have an issue with, why do you have an issue with her?
Because I don't like the way that she and Kim Kardashian in particular are trying to hammer home a message that being a feminist and female empowerment is not about equality, it's about stripping off and monetizing objectification. Exactly the words that you just used. And I think, as the father of a young daughter, I don't want her to get on Instagram and Twitter and see all this nonsense and think that is how to be successful. But you're just encouraging it.
Hopefully Piers hasn't discouraged feminists too much there. I think female empowerment being about monetizing the objectification of women is a great idea, don't you?
That me
You're
sitting here
every
now,
day. You're going to tell me that...
You think, just to clarify, there is a comparison between me sitting here now, 6'1", 220 pounds, I am reflecting and celebrating a clinically dangerous level of weight, you think?
I think that if you were really concerned about glorifying obesity, you would take yourself off the air.
But I'm not obese.
Period.
It's just a statistical medical fact.
You're fat, though.
I'm not medical. I'm not even fat.
Yeah, but you being
no, I'm
less
not. This is the point, though. My point is,
okay.
With great respect to you, my body mass index is not 64.6, which is 24 above the morbid obesity level. However, I have a serious point. I think there is a trend now, with Tess Holliday and now you, of glamorizing morbid obesity, which actually is dangerous. It's not about an anti-fat person thing. But there is a difference between me and you. And I would like you to be honest about this, rather than doing lots of press around your Miley Cyrus video, which makes it look like this is all pretty cool.
They say the camera adds £10, but how many cameras were on that woman? She shouldn't be in music videos. She should be in SeaWorld.
right? One plays President Barbie, one plays Dr. Barbie, one plays a Barbie with a Nobel Prize in physics, one is a mermaid Barbie. However, all the male characters in Barbie world are simply called Ken. So it's pretty clear where this movie is going. This is an assault on not just Ken, but all men.
I mean, I think men in general will have to be a bit kind of snowflakey to suggest they're being assaulted by a Barbie movie. Actually, feminism is rooted in the struggles of ordinary women. It's about the fact that, you know, women often get paid less. It's about the fact that women are on the front line of some of the hardest sectors to work in care, in our healthcare system, in social care. It's about the fact that they do so much unpaid labour in the household.
How many female bricklayers do you know?
I mean,
or female bin cleaners.
Great question.
What are you talking about?
Great question.
I think someone should send her to work on an oil rig. She wouldn't last one day. She'd probably jump in the sea to get away.
What's your problem with this? I never understood why they took it away. I thought the whole point of beauty pageants was the name on the tin suggests it was about physical beauty, and we got to celebrate the beautiful female form. Who cares?
The problem is pitting women against each other competitively and men deciding who is conventionally attractive in the sense of the very sexist stereotypes
and women.
that girls grow up under the cosh of.
And women used to watch them and still do.
Of course, but the competitiveness of these beauty competitions is sexism on steroids.
They're competitions to see who's the most
women
beautiful.
against each other and saying
it's the whole point of it.
Women lose and women win. And this is exactly how women are socialised. To feel worth less compared to conventionally
Julie,
attractive
you don't
women.
believe
A
this.
beauty standard that is set by men. Without sexism, we wouldn't have Miss World.
Last time I checked,
and also, if you think about what happens in these competitions,
Julie,
there are so many women.
Last time I checked, millions of women watch these competitions on TV too. They love them.
That feminist is just jealous of the beautiful women who take part in beauty competitions. So she wants to ruin it for everyone.
Here's the issue. A lot of women, I think, marched absolutely because they wanted to have the solidarity of being with other women and expressing the power of women. Absolutely get that. My point about it being pointless, wouldn't it be better to wait for Donald Trump to actually try and do something to infringe on women's rights? Because right now, he hasn't.
I think you have to accept that what Donald Trump has said throughout his leadership campaign about women, the way he treated Hillary Clinton, calling her a nasty woman, really does demonstrate that, you know,
she called everyone who supported Trump
Sorry, if I could finish.
a basket of deplorables. Well, it's a two-way street. Why is she allowed to call people a basket of deplorables and get away with it? And when Trump criticises people who support her, he's the bad guy.
A great question there by Piers. That feminist doesn't know her arse from her elbow. To see more videos like this, then like and subscribe.